evening, everybody. What's going on? Welcome back to Sunday night. That's right, it's FRR Cup Series racing, and tonight we are at New Hampshire. They call it the Magic Mile. That's right, going to be at the Magic Mile of New Hampshire tonight. The one track. This is a fun track, y'all. I don't know how much you guys like it, but I love this track. It's a very, very fun track to race on. The Magic Mile, they call it. A whole lot can happen, especially in these new next-gen cars. Anything can happen. We saw that the past couple of weeks, especially last week at Atlanta, where Typical picked up his first win in this in the FRR Cup Series in the next gen. And these guys, they look like they're getting set and ready for qualifying. They're getting ready to qualify. So, during the normal race today, they had the very bad weather, and of course, so the race got rained out today. The NASCAR Cup Series race got rained out today. It'll be tomorrow at noontime, so I'll have to be able to enjoy all but an hour of it on my lunch break before I have to go back to work and end up missing the last 2/3. But we got FRR Cup Series tonight at New Hampshire. That's right. So hopefully we can keep our fingers crossed, and they don't get those weather lags that we know so very well. And we're going to keep our fingers crossed that they can get right through qualifying and right into the race like they have the past couple of weeks. Not going to put the kiss of death onto anything, but we're going to see how everything goes. Good. I want to thank everybody for joining in with me tonight. As I just realized, I forgot to put the little comment section up there, so I will have to flip back and forth on my phone to pick up the comments. I was rushing a little bit. I thought these guys had already started qualifying, to be honest with you. So I thought I was actually a little bit later than I was. Now tonight, my good old partner in crime, my main dog B Nosy, he got tied up at work, so his work schedule is keeping him out of the booth tonight, so he's not going to be with me tonight. But I might have a surprise guest pop in probably right after the race starts. Hopefully he can get home and he'll be able to jump on and climb up the stairs and jump into the booth with me to call the race. We'll hopefully have some company, keep me company while I'm up here tonight, as these guys are qualifying right now. And as I kind of peek in on their lobby, that keeping fingers crossed and everything, that everything looks good as far as no lagging. Nope, there is a little bit of lag, so it looks like that they're backing out now already. Yep, they're backing out. So we got a little bit of weather lag going on with the Cup Series right now. So let's go in and let's see if we can pull up some points. We haven't talked about the points race in a very, very long time. Let's see about if I can pick up the points, and let's see if we can talk some points. Let's go here real quick. Let me pull up the FRR Cup points here. Let's see who is doing what. Let's see who is where in the Cup Series points, as they are going to try a new lobby and try to get qualifying in, as they're having a little bit of weather lag going on. So we're gonna hang out. Let's take a look at these points here as they come on up here. I want to thank Field Filler for posting the points this past week, and all these guys have come together. I know that Mini Golf has put a lot of time in doing points, and Field Filler has been doing a lot of time putting in points. So I want to thank those guys, especially getting these points put in. So surprise, surprise, in first place in points, you guessed it, last week's winner, and that would be Typical. That's right, Typical in first with 748 points, and he's got actually the most playoff points as well. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second. Gotta back out and let me answer a message real quick. Bear with me, guys. Give me 1 second here. As they are just now starting a new lobby for qualifying, they're restarting qualifying right now. So give me 1 second. I just got a message to answer real quick, and dadgummit, oh man, my phone. Man, I've got to get a new phone. This thing is absolutely horrible. This phone, I tell you what, this thing is so old it might as well have rotary on the front of it. I tell you what. That's how old this daggone thing is. It's so old that I have to keep it plugged in to keep it charged, or by the time it gets down to like 60 to 50, 50 to 60%, the battery's already had enough. It said I'm done at 50% and shuts off. So I have to keep it plugged in to even use it. That's how old this thing is. So that gives you an idea how slow it is. Yes, it's that slow. Sometimes it's almost as slow as I am. So give me 1 second here. And these guys are in qualifying again. And hopefully things go well. And we don't get any lag. I'm not seeing any on the stream that I'm following just yet, so let's make sure I don't put a kiss of death onto it. But right now, all is well with qualifying. Okay, there we go. So I just had to send that real quick. And let's go back to the points. Let's see if I can bring up the points again. Give me 1 second, folks, as this thing is older than you can shake a stick at. Oh. See, that's for me rushing, and it says, can I come on? Come on. You gotta be kidding me. I tell you what, this phone might as well have a rotary dial on it, I swear. That's how old this thing is that slow. They are in qualifying, folks. They are qualifying, and so far this lobby, not trying to put a kiss of death onto this one, but so far so good with no lag on this one, so it looks like they should get qualifying finished up here in just a second, and then yeah, we'll go straight into the race. And I'm trying to bring up the points now. I should have just taken a snapshot of it, but my dumb self didn't even think of it, as my phone is that old. It's like I said, man, it's got a rotary pulse dial. That's how old it is. You know, the time you got to put your finger and go click 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 all the way around. It's got one of those faces on it. That's how old this thing is. So that's just it's even slower than that, like I was saying. So if this thing it's still ain't even freaking coming up. But they are in qualifying. They should be done qualifying here in just a few minutes. And let's bring out the points. I want to get back to the points and talk about the points while we got a few minutes to kill, as it was no surprise to see Typical up in first place. Typical has had by far the best season, and look, right as of right now, obviously the number one threat and competitor to the reigning FRR Cup Series three-time champion, Favre. And Favre has been dominating the past couple of seasons, just winning championships left and right. But Typical is really, really having a strong season this year, and really primed to to take that top spot away, as he's got first in points with 748 and 30 playoff points. That's more playoff points than the second place driver, who is Favre. Favre is in second with 624 points and only 23 playoff points. Field filler in third place in points with 609. And Flash is actually in fourth place in the regular season standings with 587 points. However, Flash sits in third of the playoff points with 17, as Field Filler is in fourth with playoff points with 6. So the top 4 in the regular season points go Typical, Favre, Field Filler, and Flash. Perky is 5th. Perky rounds out the top 5 with 562 points, and is also 5th in the playoff points with 5. So there's your top 5. And Shovelhead is 6th in points with 500 points. KB Showtime is 7th. True Death is 8th. Pittman is 9th. 19mm is in 10th. And Staggerin is 11th in points. And these guys look like they have just now finished the qualifying. So qualifying has just finished up. So we're getting ready to go racing here, you guys. We're getting ready to go. So hopefully the lobby, they just run the lobby, let it go. We're all ready to go. We're ready to join, ready to go racing. So hopefully they can just let the lobby run, let it go, start to let it load up. Let's go green flag racing. We're ready to rock and roll. We're going to give it a second to see what happens here and try to see who's on the pole. Now, from what the inside tips that I've been hearing is the fastest guys of the season, that's what I said, and just in points, are basically have been running very, very good in practice this past week. Favre, Typical, Field Filler, all have looked very, very well in practice. Also, True Death looked very well in practice as well. So looks like I'm on. Let's see, Typical on the pole tonight. That's right, Typical takes the pole. As the clock is running down, we're ready to go green here in just a second. Let it keep rolling. And Typical is in first on the pole. And looks like we're going to finally go green. Favre is second. And Field Filler is third. There's your top 3, fellas. Typical is in first. Favre in second. Field Filler takes third. I can't see who's fourth, but Mucka looks like he's starting 5th. They got to pause. We're ready for them to go. Come on, let's get it started, guys. Let's get it going. Don't sit in this lobby too long. Don't sit in this lobby too long. Let's get going. We're ready for some green flag racing. We're ready to go. Get this thing going. Come on. Hit that button. Let's go. Roll it. Come on. I know they're hearing me. I know they tuned in, listened to me. So I'm trying to get them to go here. Let them know that I'm ready. Letting them know that you're ready. And let them roll this thing. Let's not sit in this lobby too long as they make sure that they got everything set right. All the particulars. Looks like we're going to have a lot of good green flag racing tonight, man. At New Hampshire, I love this track. One of my favorite tracks because it's so racy. We're going to have 150 laps tonight, ladies and gentlemen. 150 laps to decide tonight. And we're ready for that. If they roll it, we don't want to sit in the lobby too long, fellas. Let's go. Let's go. Times are running. Times are clicking. Don't want to be sitting in this lobby. I'm not sure what we're waiting on. Come on. As these guys are waiting for these guys to go green, man. And hopefully, man, I don't know if any of y'all tuned into the FTR Pro Series race at 6 p.m. tonight, but if we have a finish like they had in that race tonight, well, we're going to be in for a treat, because that came down to the wire. Real talk. I mean, talk about a one of those races with a questionable ending, I guess you could call it. It was very exciting, to say the least. It was awesome, exciting if you love it. That's finally okay. Now we're clicked in and tuned in, but hopefully we can have a finish it over there. So if you didn't, if you tune into the FTR Racing League and check out them guys after this race, as they are finally loading in. So let me get on and I'm going to send the invites to I don't know why that's coming on. I don't have that music on. Oh, I know why, because I was in 2020. That's right. I was still in 2020. They are in 2022, so it had to change over to the server. So that's why that terrible music had to come up, but that's okay. Give me a second, folks. I'm going to make sure, try to send an invite to somebody. Hopefully he can come on in tonight, but I'm going to send him a couple invites. So if he's able to make it, he'll be able to climb right on in and join in, because he'll have a couple of the invites. Oh, we're gonna send 3. So if you're tuned in now, I'm sending you 3. So if you're able to get home and able to climb up the stairs and climb on up and climb into the booth with me, climb on and enjoy. As we're going green, we're loaded in now. I sent the invites. We are going green. As Flash starts 4th. It was typical on the pole. Favre 2nd, Field Filler 3rd, Flash in 4th, and Mucka started the top 5. As we are starting to load in, and they have already taken the green flag, and of course that's how it always goes. So we give you like a little, usually B Nosy gives the perfect radio type broadcast before, as I'm getting loaded in, and here we are loaded in, and typical, starting on the pole, jumps out to an early lead in front of Favre already right on his bumper, as they are already starting to check out from the field a little bit. Let's go around and introduce these guys. Everybody know, as you know, typical, our points leader and our race leader. Typical in the number 10. Favre, 2nd in points, also 2nd in a race, and his number 4, Favre in the number 4. Field Filler, 3rd in points, and there he is in 3rd in the 5 car. There's Field Filler. Also Flash, there's Flash 4th in points, and there's Flash 4th in the race, a top 4. Oh, there you go, Flash in the 24. Mucka in the 5th place. There's Mucka there in his number 2 car in 5th place. KB Showtime in the 38. There's KB Showtime. Love that paint scheme that he has on that 38 car here in these next-gen cars. Hurricane Hall in the number 9. Having a good season. There's Hurricane Hall. He's off to a good start already in that number 9 car. Shovelhead in the number 22. There's Shovelhead. And at number 22, having a great start to the season already in the top 6 in points. I think he's 6 now in points, and here he is in the top 10 already here in the beginning. Racer Rick in the 34, also having a good run to the season. He's up there in points as well. He's in the top 10 as points, as he's letting here looking under True Death here in the 3 car for Racer Rick in the number 34. And there he is, True Death, as he's right on True Death. True Death in the number 3. Taking a little while, he's got Racer Rick all over his back bumper as they take it down the backstretch. But True Death in the number 3. Rapid in the number 44 car has had a change over with the car change, and he's in the number 44. That Rapid in the number 44. THC in his number 7. There's THC in that blue and black number 7 car. Nice looking paint scheme for THC. 9mm, 19mm in the 12 car. He's looked like he's gotten into some damage already. All kind of rolling in the back here. Something obviously had happened, and he's got a considerable amount of damage to the front of that hood in the 12 car. G. Petro in the 8 car. There's Petro driving that number 8 car. Like that paint scheme as well. Hick Ross in the 18. There's the Hick Ross driving that M&M's and number 18 Toyota, as he's running there trying to find into the top 10. Mac in the 17. There's Mac driving that number 17 Ford. I like that paint scheme, that blue and black. That's sleek looking there in that number 17 for Mac in that number 17 Ford. Dimebags in the number 1. I don't know if he's glad to change these paint schemes. I love that monster paint scheme he had in the old cars. But he's got the watermelon man on this paint scheme here in that number 1. There's Dimebags. Mini Golf in his number 21, the famous number 21 Wood Brothers Motorsports Ford. There is Mini Golf in that number 21. Danny MD in the 45, changed over. He was in the 96 in the old 2020 Gen 7 car, and he had to change over to the number 45, a good number. And he's got some hood damage as well to the front of that 45 machine. Already gotten into some kind of trouble as he's got some damage. And then the number 1 car up into the wall from the 17. That's Dimebags in the number 1 got together in the turn 1. Dimebags got the worst of that going into the wall. He's definitely going to have some damage on the right side of that number 1 car. As we go to J-Lam in the 48. J-Lam driving that number 48 Ally Chevrolet. That man Perky in the 14 having a great start to the season. He is 5th in points coming into the night as that man Perky in that number 14 Ford. Pittman in the number 11. Everybody knows Pittman and everybody knows FedEx. Everybody knows Pittman and is in that FedEx Toyota. And that rounds out our field for the night as we come back up front, and we have had a lead change now as introducing drivers. Typical has moved back to second, put that guy Favre in the lead out in front to the point and pulling away and putting a little distance now in between he and Typical. As we had in place for third now as Flash in the third now in the 24 car, moved his whip to third, put Field Filler back to fourth. These are our top 4 in points. As you see, Favre in first out in front, making that high line work, arching those corners. And as you see, and the issue with this track, as everybody knows if you raced here, is going to be that seam that's in between 1 and 2, as we see Mucka and Shovelhead doing some battle here going into turn 3. Shovelhead all over the number 2 machine. This is for 5th place back here. Mucka in the number 2 car. He's got 5th. Shovelhead in the 22. He wants it. Mucka goes way high on the racetrack. Opens the door. Almost allowing and letting the 22 get underneath of him. The 22 looks not able to get the momentum down the corner. As Mucka dives it down in, staying into that in that second groove. As you see, most guys, they are staying in that second lane in that turn. That's kind of where you want to be. That's kind of where you find your speed to arc around these corners. If you hit that seam, there's that seam right there between 1 and 2. You can see it right there. You hit that little seam and you can get real loose real quick. Almost like being on ice. Right now, Favre, he's out all by himself. And in that 4 car, in cruise control a little bit, putting a little distance now between he and first place. As we are in the early going, so we still got over 20 to go. As these guys start to take note. And starting to show some these top four really are starting to break away here. This top row, this front row, I should say, is really looking good. As we close in, checking back here with Mucka and Field Filler, as they have had some really great racing going on back here. But let's check in here with Showtime, as we got a big battle back here. KB, Showtime, Pittman, Perky, Racer Rick, and True Death all together here. And this is about mid-pack. Let me go back here. As I ride with Perky, this is for about 8th, 9th, Pittman in 10th, Perky in 11th. And put Showtime, KB Showtime, looks like KB Showtime be back to 12th now, as Perky has moved up to 10th spot. So Perky there in 10th. Let's go to Racer Rick, as Perky is in 10th. So that puts Pittman at 9th, Racer Rick at 8th, and True Death at 7th. As we have our first taker in the pits, and that's going to be the 11 car and the 7 car. Let's get on the 11. Where is the 11? Because I saw the 11 go down pit road. Here's the 11 coming down pit road now. Pittman making his early pit stop. We got 16 to go in stage 1. Pittman down pit road. The 7 of THC, he is now out of pit road. And here comes the other guys. Here comes Perky in the 14. Perky kind of overshoots that entrance road. Oh, and he gets into there now. And that's another thing that we're going to have to watch out for as this race goes on too, is that service road, that entrance road right there. Very windy, and you can lose a lot of time, and you can gain a lot of time just getting into pit road here. Very, very tricky. As we see Favre and Typical still out first and second, still have yet to make their pit stops. Field Filler also, he is in third, haven't yet made his pit stop. And here comes Field Filler now. Field Filler down to make his pit stop. Showtime Flash, he's just coming out of the pits. He just made his. Here comes Mucka around. Mucka has not made his pit stop yet either. KB Showtime down pit road now. Shovelhead, he's coming down pit road to get his service done. Racer Rick is down and out. True Death also in the 3 car. He's down and out. He's coming back onto the track now. Oh, looks like we had some interesting going on pit road. Look at some cars beating and banging there on pit road. No harm, no foul. As we kind of get back out there, the 4 still out in front with the lead. That is Favre in the 4 car. And here he comes now to make his pit stop, and he's going to relinquish the lead back to Typical. Typical is going to stay out another extra lap here. As we ride with Typical, as he has yet to make his pit stop. Let's see if he comes in this time. Nope, he looks like he's going to stay out as well. So Typical, the only one right now who has yet to pit, obviously in the lead, he has yet to pit. Everybody else, I believe, has already made their pit stop. So we've got 12 laps to go in stage 1. Typical has yet to pit, but he is going to have to pit any lap now. And you got to wonder if staying out this late is going to do him, is actually going to be worse for him. As Favre now comes out of pit road, here comes Typical on the bumper of Favre, as Typical, the only one that has yet to pit. The entire field has pitted now, so Typical, the only way that we got to correct in the turn 1 here. The 48 turned around. Big trouble. This could cause interesting as Typical has yet to pit. Caution is not out in the game. There's no game caution. I think that only brought out the one car. I think it was only the 48 of J-Lam that spun. So if it's just one car, nope. Caution is called. Caution is called. Wow. Okay, so this gets real interesting real quick. Because Typical, I believe, had yet to pit. So this, I'm going to have to see how this scoring is, because I'm not sure that Typical pitted, and possibly even field filler. Field filler may have stayed out as well. So, but from all looks of things, watching on the stream, that Typical and possibly field filler stayed out the entire time while the rest of the field came in on green flag stops. So how does this work out? This has gotten real interesting real quick, as we are under a manual caution for the spin in turn 1 as J-Lam in the 48. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but he was sideways as the leader came on and approached. I'm trying to stick here with these guys at the front with Typical and field filler, because I'm not so sure that these two pitted at all during that green flag run. So let me let me check on let me go to another stream. And try to get a running order for you, if I can. As Typical is in first, Dimebags is second, Favre is third, Showtime Flash is in fourth, and Mini Golf is actually in fifth. They are all showing on the lead lap. So I guess Typical did have to come in the pit. I must have been wrong on that. But there are still a lot of cars that were a lap down. I do know that. So let me see here. Perky is in the 11th place. Now a lot of these cars are looking like they did the wave around to get one lap back, as the leaders made their pit stop. So let's get lined back up here, as Dimebags is in second with Typical in first and Favre in third. Here we go. Now we're getting it right. So let me go on over to Favre's stream, where Favre is running third, and get a leaderboard, as Typical is in first, Dimebags is in second, Favre in third, Showtime in fourth, and J-Lam is in fifth. As being on Favre's stream, there's only about 6 laps left to go. I think this time there'll be 5 to go. I'll get a lap count as we cross the line here. Obviously not taking a green flag this time wait for the rest of the field, as there are 5 laps to go. So 5 laps to go of the field now coming to catch up, So we should go green this time by. And it looked like the rest of the field were able to get that lap back through the pit cycle on this caution. Definitely a weird change of events here, and it definitely changed up the shuffling order, because if you're this one car of Dimebags, you are sitting in a really good spot. Second place, outside row. You've got Flash and Mucka and True Death all behind you, so you got some help. Now you got some other Fords on the inside of Typical and FRR, who have been by far the two fastest cars. And here we go, as we get to go green here. Nope, we're going to go one more time around. Looks like they weren't set this time, so we're going to go one more time around. Mini Golf, he sits in a good spot too. Mini Golf in the top 5 now. He is now 5th. And he's going to restart 5th. Mucka in 6th. Nope, Mini Golf is going to peel off. He's going to come down pit road. He looks like he has a lot of damage to his car. He might even be... He's out of gas. No, he's not out of gas. I couldn't think he would be out of gas. He's just going to the rear of the field. I'm not sure what this was about. I think he just had an issue. He was getting race control. Okay, so he's setting back in at 5th. So everything's good to go with Mini Golf. But looks like he's got some heavy damage. Now we're going to go green. Here we go. We go green. As Typical taking off, shooting out of the gate, as he is getting door to door with Dimebags in the one car. Dimebags now settling in behind Typical in the two. Here it comes. He stays to the high side. Lets FRR and Flash underneath. FRR up to 2nd. Move Flash up to 3rd. Dimebags now going to drop to 4th with Mini Golf in 5th. Mini Golf gets a little tight side, gets a little loose. He's got a lot of damage to the front and the side of that 21 car. He looked like he got really loose. And looks like the 2 car got into him a little bit, got let go off of him. And Pittman now under the 2 car, that's for 6th. As Mini Golf now looks underneath of the 1 car. Dimebags is gonna fight you for it. I know Dimebags, very good, very clean racer. Had a lot of fun. He raced in the Xfinity Series the other night. Had fun racing with him in the Xfinity Series. Dimebags doing a very good job holding off Mini Golf, and here in P4. Well, we got to get back up to the leaders here. Ooh, as FRR and that was the end of the stage there. So that was the end of the stage. Typical takes stage 1. So Typical in 1st, FRR in 2nd, Showtime and Flash in 3rd, Dimebags in 4th, Mini Golf in 5th, Mucka 6th, Perky 7th, Pittman in 8th, Showtime in 9th, True Death in 10th, Shovelhead in 11th, and that's what I was able to see in the top 11 from FRR stream. So we were going to go stage 2. Typical took stage 1. FRR was in 2nd, and Showtime Flash 3rd. As we go stage 2, green flag for stage 2. Typical gets a jump as he's got FRR right on his tail. Here comes FRR now looking underneath the 10 car going into 3. Here comes FRR. He's going to have the inside lane and the inside track, and he's going to retake the lead. Here comes Typical looking for that crossover. Can Typical get enough and get underneath? He's going to just stay right in line. He's going to try to ride here, I think, with Favre. Not going to let him get away this time, as we got some big racing there going on in the back. As Flash now in third pulls up here. As Perky in the 14. He's moving up the field. Here we ride with Showtime as he's door-to-door with Mini Golf and Dime Bags. This is for 6th, 7th, and 8th as they are side by side. And we've got a hornet's nest here, y'all. We've got a hornet's nest. This is called the wash here, where everybody's going to get all jumbled up and you're either going to come out clean or you're going to come out dirty. One of the two. That outside line is really working well. Pittman in the 11. KV Showtime muscled their way around the 21 of Mini Golf back here. As Showtime now gets under the 1 car of Dime Bags, and he's got the help of the 11 car with him. As I get my sound back. And these guys really racy back here in mid-pack, riding with Racer Rick. Ooh, as the contact was made in the 7 car with THC and Mac. Checking back up here, kind of in the front. True Death now, underneath of the 38. Moves him up the track, and here comes Showtime back on the outside, getting that momentum on the outside. That outside line is really moving well. And do I got a partner up in the booth? Did he make his way up to the booth yet? No, I don't think so. Thought I had another partner in the booth real quick. As we got here on the track, here comes Shovelhead in the 22. Now looks underneath of True Death in the number 3. Shovelhead going to get position underneath. As the 14 now makes a move. Here comes Perky underneath of the 2 of Mucka. This is for 4th place. There's the top 3 that you see. Favre, Typical, and Flash. 1, 2, 3. But here is the battle for 4th as Mucka surges on the outside with that momentum that he's able to get. As you see, you're able to arc this corner and get this momentum right down the straight. Perky having a great run. Here he goes looking to the inside now of the 2 car. You see, he's not going to be able to make it. He's got off the throttle way too much, where the 2 car is able to get on the throttle earlier and arc that corner and be able to take that momentum down the straight. But Perky having a great run in 5th. Put Pittman now at 6th. Here's Pittman in 6th, having a great run so far early in the going. Already up to 6th. As now guys are starting to file in line. All chasing this line here. Here's our lead pack. Favre, Typical, and Flash. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, I apologize. I didn't, of course, as you guys see, I don't have the comments section. I forgot to put the comments section up. So let me go on over and check in on the comments. Uh-oh, I hit the wrong one. Yep, I hit the wrong one, of course. What's up, Elvin? Yes, I did get your message, Elvin, and I will definitely get back to you tonight after this race. I did get your message. And I will get back to you after this race, so I know you're still on board, as we have a battle here now, as KB Showtime now losing the position to Shovelhead, and he's now got Field Filler he's got to worry about. Field Filler and True Death now. True Death trying to get position. Here comes KB Showtime on the crossover. What a move by the 38. Down the back stretch, or the front stretch now. Here comes Field Filler and True Death to the top side. Field Filler goes way high into turn 1 and 2, trying to get this momentum down the back straight. Makes a little contact, no harm, no foul there. He's got a little bit of a push from True Death behind him, and here comes KB Showtime in that 38, fighting as hard as he can on the inside, and here comes that outside groove. Just able to get way too much. And here comes the 38. Almost look like you're trying to throw the block on the 3. The 3 not going to make it. The 3's going to have something to say about that. What's going on, Billy? Just joining in. We are here at New Hampshire. Typical out front. Or I'm sorry, it was... If I can get it right. As I went through the whole thing. As FRR... Still your leader. Favre in first. Typical in second. Flash in third. And I believe here is the battle still for fourth. Mucka and Perky have been going door to door probably for the last several laps. And I was saying, Billy, man, in a pre-race as they were qualifying, if we have the race, if we have the ending tonight in this FRR Cup Series race that you guys had, and that FTR Pro Series race at 6 o'clock, that finish was incredible. Questionable at the end. I mean, it was questionable. I mean, it was exciting. I mean, those guys between Davey and the 8, and oh man, I'm trying to think of who was in the 18 who ended up winning. And that as they wrecked across the start-finish, as they wrecked across the line, the 8 car, Davey, wrecked across the line. Trying to remember who won it, that 18 car, but it was a dynamite finish. If we have a finish like that here, we're going to be in for a treat. That's what I was saying earlier. I'm trying to remember who that was in the 18 that won that FTR Cup race earlier this evening. But right now, Favre is still in control. And Typical in second, Flash in third. Typical won stage 1, Flash was in second. Or I'm sorry, Typical won stage 1, Favre was in second, Flash was in third. And believe it or not, Favre has actually led more laps than Typical. Typical was able to get the lead when Favre made his green flag pit stop in stage 1 and stayed out, and a caution came out, and was able to pit and get 4 fresh Goodyears on with everybody, and Typical was able to beat the 4 car in a drag race to the line and the end stage 1. But here, as we see again, the 4 car of Favre trying to put a little space in between he and Typical in a 10 car, trying to break away a little bit. But it seems like that draft that Flash and Typical have won't let him kind of get away. But back here in fourth, these guys are still going at it for fourth. These guys have been going at it for fourth all stage long. Let me switch on over and see if I can get a lap count for you guys when they cross the line, as looks like they've got 11 laps left here in stage 2. And I'll tell you what, Mucka and Perky have been going at it all race long. Let's check in with True Death. True Death back here. That looks like he's back in 9th. Just kind of cruising around. Let's check in with some of these guys. These guys are now very spread out around the track. Dimebags is falling back in the one car. He got lucky on a stage break. Mini Golf, he's having a good run. He's up here fighting for the top 10. And back up with Perky in that 14 as he again looks underneath of this 2 car. They're trying to make this pass for 4th that he's been trying to do all race long and just not able to do it. The 2 car keeps getting that momentum off of the corner and takes that momentum down the straight and able to take it back from Perky every single time. As now as I check back here with Pittman riding in 6th, as Field Filler in the 5 starting to look like he's starting to close in with Shovelhead. Here's Field Filler now in the 5 car, Shovelhead in the 22, all over his tail. As Pittman there is 6th, Field Filler is 7th, and Shovelhead riding with Shovelhead is in 8th. So this is 6th, 7th, and 8th. As we've got, or I'm sorry, no, we've got a whole lot more left than that. We've got, looks like 27 laps to go. I'm sorry, I misread that. We got about 27 laps to go in stage 2. So they got a pit stop that will definitely be coming. As they cross the line, yeah, there's 27 laps to go. So there's plenty of time. So now here comes Racer Rick. One of the first to make the green flag stops. Along with 19mm, he's down in the pit road. Green flag stops now being made again. J Lamb and Perky finally has taken over the 4th spot from Mucka. It took him half the stage, and now he's getting it back as the 2 and the 14 get side by side into the wall. Goes to 14, and he's going to lose that 4th spot. And Perky might have a little bit of something to say about that one. Perky might have a little something to say as the 2 and the 14 got together off of turn 2, and the 14 of Perky definitely got the worst of it. And now the 2 able to put some space in between he and the 14. As now here comes the leaders down pit road. Typical down pit road. Favre down pit road. So I believe that puts Flash to the point. That should put Flash to the point for the moment. And here comes Flash now down pit road. So Flash make his pit entrance, making that sharp turn on that service road. And the rest of them are down. Mucka down pit road, Pittman down pit road. And Typical looks like he's having a long pit stop. I sure hope that Typical didn't just get a penalty. And here comes Typical now, as Favre just came around him. So this should change up, and it should square up for Favre to take back the lead. As Flash was in the pits with the lead. Now the 21 being scored the leader, and that is Mini Golf in the 21. And here comes the 21 down pit road making his pit stop now. So as Mini Golf comes around down pit road as the leader for the moment, Favre will be coming around in just a couple seconds to retake that lead. As here comes Favre now. As Favre comes around turn 1 and 2. And put Favre back to the point. So Typical going to be in second. As Field Filler now in the 5 car. Trying to get a running order. I'm on Favre's. I'm on Favre's screen, so he has a lap counter up there, but he doesn't have the running order, the leaderboard. So I'm gonna hope that maybe Favre will put up the leaderboard for us. Hint, hint. He must not be tuning in this week. Trying to get the leaderboard to come up on Favre's screen as I'm on Favre's broadcast stream, and he's got the lap count up, so we've got 20 laps to go, and just waiting, hoping that he would have the leaderboard up, as he is now coming into some lap traffic with 19mm, and we got here. He puts up the leaderboard. So Favre in first, Typical in second, Flash in third, Pittman in fourth, and Perky is in fifth. And that's our top 5. As Favre now dealing with some heavy traffic. So riding with Field Filler as he's way back here now. Favre in first, Typical second, Flash in third, Pittman fourth. And Pittman is fourth, but he's got Perky all over him, so let's get over there. There's Perky, and this is for fourth and fifth. Ooh, and here comes Shovelhead. He's got something to say about this. This is fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh right here. Pittman in fourth, Perky in fifth. Shovelhead in sixth, and Mucka in seventh. As Favre is now out to a second lead on Typical, as he is battling some heavy lap traffic. And we got a battle back here between Perky and the 22 of Shovelhead. Here comes Shovelhead looking underneath of the 14 here in turn 3. He's going to make the pass down the straight. He's got some help. He should have the pass into turn 1. Perky going to give him all he's got on the outside. The 2 car gives that 22 a little shove. Just enough shove to give him ahead. But here comes Perky on that outside lane. Able to get that momentum down the backstretch. There he gets that momentum around the curve, but Shovelhead now able to clear him and make the pass. So put Shovelhead to 5th, and Perky now in the 2 car, and they're going to do battle again. So here comes Perky. Favre now checking in on Favre's stream. Favre is out here getting through this lap traffic as we got a spin in the 9 car out on the traffic. The 9 got out of the way. I think it was just a single car spin. No, it was just a single car, so caution should not come out here. It was just a single car. The 9 of Hurricane Hall got sideways. Back here, these guys are really battling it out. Let me get to that 22. I want to get on that 22 as Shovelhead. As Shovelhead now in 5th place. And he's got his rear view, or side view mirror now full of that 2 car. The 2 car is going to send it into 1. The 22 of Shovelhead gives him plenty of room. Field Filler now underneath of the 4. They're 2 by 2 back here. Ooh, Shovelhead gets wicked loose coming off of turn 2. Able to correct it. Keep his lane. Mucka now slides up. That moves Field Filler up. Put Field Filler now up to 5th. Or I'm sorry, Shovelhead to 5th. Field Filler 6th. And here comes that 14 and 2 side by side again. as the 5 of Field Filler now trying to get up onto this 22 car, Shovelhead, not able to close up to him tight. As we kind of go around the track, very well spread out now as we check in with our leader. And that is Favre of the 4 car as he's coming now up on the 21 of Mini Golf to put him a lap down. So Mini Golf now goes a lap down as they cross the stripe. This next time by, there's 9 laps to go. And Favre has a 1 second lead over Typical with under 9 to go. So Favre kind of in cruise control here as Typical now, you see there's Typical right behind him into that traffic that Favre was in just a minute ago. And Favre now out to a pretty good sized lead with 8 laps to go. It'll be 7 laps to go. This time he crosses the stripe. Typical here in second. Showtime Flash in third. Here's Showtime. Kind of running by himself here. He doesn't have any challenge in front or behind him. He's just kind of all by himself here in third. Now Favre now out in front here. Got a little bit of more traffic as he now looks under Danny MD in the 45. And I believe that's the 38 of KB Showtime next in line. As they cross the stripe this time with 6 to go. So next time they cross the stripe, there'll be 5 to go. As the 38 lets the 4 go on by on the outside. As the 10 car of Typical now has kind of closed it in. It's only a half a second now. It was a full second between the 4 and the 10. Got chewed down to a half a second. And Typical might lose a second there, a moment there, as a fraction of a second on the 38. As it's now down to a half a second now. And he is really pushing. He's going to try to get him there. He's going to try to get it. As they cross the line this time by, was 4 to go. So 4 laps left. Typical doing all he can to try to catch this 4 car. But with that clean air and no lap traffic ahead of him, Favre is able to maintain that half a second lead on Typical. Flash is in third, Pittman fourth, Shovelhead rounds out the top 5. As they cross that stripe, there was 5 to go. And as we get with 5 laps to go, as he crosses with 4 laps to go, got a special partner now climbed up into the booth with me. Hokey. How's it going, my friend? Oh, they are, man. They are putting it down, too, brother. There's 2 laps to go in stage 2 now. Did you get the invites? I sent you 3 of them. Make sure you had enough of them. Favre is out front. Typical is in second. Flash in third. Shovelhead fourth. And Pittman now in fifth. So Shovelhead was able to get around him as Favre now takes the 1 to go in stage 2. So 1 lap to go in stage 2 here at New Hampshire. But man, we have had They are rolling right through. We've only had one caution, but it came at a peculiar time. The caution did. It came at the end of stage one, right at the tail end of green flag pit stops. Made it very interesting. Of course. That's right. As Oh, absolutely, man. Glad you could come up. Yeah, anytime, man. I'm glad you came up. B Nizzy, his schedule got busy at work today, so he got hung over. So, as we complete stage two, so far, your winner of stage two, Typical in second, Showtime Flash third, Shovelhead in fourth, and Pittman round out the top five. There's Shovelhead in the 22 having a really good race in that number 22 car, now up to fourth. He's battled his way through the field very, very well. Almost exactly kind of like we saw the other night in the Xfinity race, actually. They're very spread out, but very good, clean racing. It is. It is. It's one of my favorites. Yep. Yep. They really do. Well, I tell you what, that four car is really hooked up. And you mentioned kind of about the apexes, man, and you've been dead on as the top groove has really been the place to be. These guys, if they can be right there in that second lane, in between that second and third lane around the corners, they are able to get such a momentum, such a push down the straight with the momentum coming off of the corner if they're able to stay in that second, third groove, and they are just flying down the corner. Yeah, Flash has been running a consistent third all race. He's just been there. He hasn't really like seen he's had the car to challenge the leaders, but he's had a better car than the rest of the field so far. So he's kind of been there in third and not has had anybody to challenge him. And once the green flag pit stops came, he wasn't able. Didn't pit on the same cycle as the leaders, so he lost kind of the lead draft with those leaders. But here he is now in stage three. He's definitely trying to stay on into that lead draft. Pittman also there. He's had a very good race in that 11 car. Pittman has been in the top five. As we got a crash in the back, Hurricane Hull's gone around again. This might bring out the caution. I saw the 9 of Hurricane Hull get sideways. And the 7, yeah, the 7. Yep. Yeah, he's going down pit road as well. He and the 9 car got tangled up. Green flag, they're still green. The caution is not out. Right, there's still 50 laps in this thing, and we are under caution. Caution is called. Caution was called. Yep, and here comes the lead pack down the field. Now, this kind of makes things interesting a little bit with these leaders, because Favre, on that restart for stage 3, Favre was able to get a good jump out of the gate and get into turn 1 and 2 underneath the typical, and was able to take the lead. But I'm telling you what, man, that middle top groove has been the place to be. If Favre chooses the bottom, and remember on a manual caution they get to choose the top or the bottom. So if Favre chooses the bottom and gives Typical the top, that could be exactly what the doctor ordered for Typical to maybe, just maybe, get that run off of turn 2. If he's able to stay side by side with him off through the turn, he should have a shot to get that momentum down the straight into 3. But if I'm Favre, he could choose that outside and take that away. So this could get interesting how this comes out. Yeah, that's a very good point to make, too. Yeah, he does have the call, so he is choosing the bottom. So Favre is going to be on the bottom here as they're... Yeah. Yeah. This has been an exciting race, man. It really has been. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, he's had he's had a little bit of trouble. I think he hit that seam. I think and you know out here it is at New Hampshire on a long run, your car ends up getting a little bit loose right there at the tail end of the run. And it was at the tail end of the run, and he went around, and I think he may have like hit that seam between 1 and 2, because it was hit right there at the end of turn 2 where he turned himself sideways. But it was just himself, but he did get turned around there. I think it was just being loose, and I think he caught that seam, and that seam helped him get turned around. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. And as we're going to go green now, and I haven't been in the next gen. Oh, it Favre. There you go. Favre jumped up top and threw the block on the 10 car, made him check up, and that shifted everything around. Yep. And yep, he's going to go 3 at... Ooh. Yeah. Oh, field filler. He thought about it. He thought about it. He thought about it. Yep. Good decision on field filler's part. I mean, to hold off on that. Yeah, he could have stuck his nose in there and got it real dirty, but he made the right decision and backed out of it. And yeah. Yep, he was not going to allow Typical to get that momentum off of the corner. And as soon as he cleared him, and it was completely cleared. I mean, he cleared him. Oh, and Flash gets off into the wall off of turn 2, and that should allow the 10 car to come right up to the 24. But as I was saying, that's exactly... Yeah. And it happens. We've all done it. We've all done it 1,000 times, where you get on the gas a little too early in those turns, and it's gonna push you up into that corner. It did for him. A little bit, yeah. Yeah, I'm anxious to drive the next gen cars here at New Hampshire because I know how fun they are. They're a lot of fun. Yeah, in the Xfinity car, that was a real fun race the other night. Right. Yeah, that's something that I'm going to be learning very quick here very soon. As we're going to go 3 wide back here to back me with Hick Ross. Yeah, mini golf, Hick Ross, and Racer Rick went 3 wide there for a minute. And now Danny MD's getting into it. This is back here in the back, but some really cool racing that these guys are doing back here. But getting... As we got a change for second now. Typical did get around Flash for second. Oh, and Perky now into the wall. Perky is now going to give that position up to Shovelhead. And Shovelhead is going to get position. That's for... This was for 6. As Perky had 6, and he did exactly that. Got into the throttle too much. Got up into the wall coming out of the corner. Oh, and here comes a 2 car. And Pittman's had a great race in that 11 car. I got to get a little camera on him as he's had a very good race. He has just been consistent all race long. He's been in the top 5 just sitting here all race long. Yeah, he is. Very good, very consistent, very consistent. I don't talk enough about Pittman actually. I really don't, and I should. I know. Hey, there is no commentator's curse with me. Favre and Flash can tell you that. I can promise you that. All right now, Favre is checked out a little bit. Yep. But I don't think Typical's too much worried. He caught him. He's run him down once. He'll run him down again if he has to. As these 3 are kind of hooked up. Typical, Flash, and Field Filler all kind of hooked up together trying to make sure that that 4 car doesn't get too far out of their grasp. And Mucka sitting here in 6th. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, it will. Very, 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 very easily. And like I said, I hadn't driven it enough to bet about that seam because on the in the Xfinity car and the old Gen 7, the 2020 cars, if you hit that seam when you get loose, it's almost like trying to drive on ice, man. You got no control. That back end just spins around on you like you were on ice. Yeah. Yeah. It, absolutely. But I don't know, I haven't got the feel for these next gens on how well they handle this curve in that seam. They handle better. Yeah, the trucks are always fun. Oh, we got a car around. The one car is around off of turn 2. That's the one car of Dimebags. I think it was a single car. We're gonna have to see if a caution comes up, but I think it was a single car. Yeah, he's coming in the pits now. I think. Yeah, he had a real good, and he was actually with when we had the caution come out at the end of stage 1. It was right there at the end of green flag pit stops, and Dimebags was a good recipient of that because he restarted second off of that caution and got up there, and it ended up getting him a good. He should have gotten a good stage finish out of that. I'm not exactly sure where he finished up, but he should have gotten a good stage finish out of it. Yeah, I was 4th. I got 4th. Yeah, I got 4th. Yeah, I think so. Paulie was hooked up. Paulie was hooked up. Yeah, he was hooked up too. He by far had the best car. He by far had the best car. Yeah. Yeah, that pit strategy definitely. Yeah, he called it right. And I tell you what, I've been riding with True Death here. True Death he's had a good car tonight. Looks like he's riding about 9th right now. He's in there in the top 10, having a good run. He pulled up on the tail bump right on the back seat of the 22 a minute ago, but they able to pull away from a little bit. As True, been riding with True a little bit. He's had a good race. Yep, here comes Rapid, the 7 car of THC. I think the 7 car is actually taken to the garage for the night. I think he might be out. I think he's had to take it to the garage. He's had a mechanical failure. I hate to see that, man. I really hate to see that, too. But green flag stops are happening. But everybody's trying to catch this guy. That guy Favre. And we got 24 laps to go this time by. And there's the interval that you see between Favre and Typical and 3rd place Field Filler. Field Filler also had a great run tonight. I haven't talked about him much at all tonight, but he's been here in the top 3, top 4, maybe in the top 5 all night long. He's just been riding mainly in the top 3, top 4 behind Flash, mostly in the top 4 or top 3 all night long. Here he is in 3rd as he's trying to run down the 10 car of Typical. At the same time, he's trying to put some more distance between he and the 4th place car of Pittman. Pittman in that 11 car having a great 4th place run tonight. Mucka's now in 5th. And here comes Typical now down pit road. Typical down to make his pit stop. So here comes Typical. Yep. He's got the freshies. So Favre... Yeah, Favre's not going to battle him too much. Because here comes Favre down now. Favre's going to make his Yep. Anytime you see Typical or FRR make a pit stop, once one comes in, then you're going to see the other. So put the 5 car now to the point of Field Filler. So Field Filler is going to hold the lead for a moment or two. And he's not pitting yet. So you're going to go around another time. FRR in his pits right now. I tell you, what you don't want is you don't want a speeding penalty. Showtime Flash. Yeah. And Flash is actually ahead of Typical. So Flash, I think so, guy. Flash took the pit stop early. I think he did a short pit. I think it's putting him to the point here. Yep, Field Filler's in with the 5 car. So here comes the 24 now moving up. He's going to allow the 10 car now to pass. So the 10 should be at a point. Yeah. Flash was in the lead. It is go time. Flash was in the lead, now in second with FRR in third. So a pit strategy gets Flash out front. And here he is going battling underneath the Typical in the turn 3 and turn 4 with 20 laps to go. Here comes FRR. FRR now looking under the 24 car down the front stretch. He's going to get underneath of him here in turn 1. He wants to do it quickly. He wants to make a pass, and they want to do it quickly because they do not want to let that 10 car get away. Yeah. Here we go now. Things are really revving up. Typical in front, FRR in second, Flash in third, with 17 laps to go. Right on his tracks. Oh, maybe you pushed it a little too hard that time. And you know FRR wants this win bad too because of the points. Typical is in front in points in both columns, in the regular season standing and the playoff points. He's in lead in both. So FRR really wants to try to get this win because they split the stages already. So the winner of the race is gonna be the winner on the point side of things. So this, yeah, here it goes now. And remember, they are teammates. These are teammates. FRR makes the pass, and a Typical up into the 10 car. I think he got the wall. Did he get the wall? Just enough to knock... Yeah, just enough to kill that momentum, really. And you know he's going to do everything he can as we got 14 laps to go now in this race. FRR out front, Typical in second, Flash in third. I don't know. I don't see... I don't have the leaderboard to see the rest of the top 5. We got 13 to go. I think it's Perky in 4th and Field Filler in 5th. I got mini golf stream. Mini golf is in 19th, so mini golf is a lap down. So it's Perky. So Perky is 4th, Field Filler is 5th. Yep, so here they come now. Perky having a great run in that 14, man. As Flash now trying to stay with that 4 in that 10 car. He's just not able to do it. They got a little bit, yeah. Favre and Typical now starting to really pull away. Yep. And run with Perky. Yeah, there's to see the interval. Yep. And anytime a Typical scrapes that wall and loses that momentum. And as you can see, the distance that it puts in between the 4 and the 10. And we're down to 9 laps to go now, so they are getting scarce. And time is running out for Typical. But like I was saying, this is a big win here for Favre on the point side of things. And Favre is really picking him up and laying him down too, ain't he? Yeah, there's still a few, but I tell you what, honestly, this is the champion at his best, flexing his muscle, if you ask me. It really is. He was able to get around Typical, clean, fair, and square. Yep. I mean, he has the better car. I think he just flat out has a little bit better car, and he's this is what makes him a 3-time champion here in FRR Cup Series. And this is him. This is a champion flexing his muscle. This is him at his best, if you ask me, because these are the 2 best, obviously, in this league. Typical and Favre, by far, have been the cream of the crop. Yeah. Yep, Flash is right there. Flash, he made a great run there, you know, with that pit strategy to try to maybe kind of help him steal one almost a little bit. But just doesn't have the car of this 4 and 14, or this 4 and this 10. These Fords are really hooked up. With 6 laps to go, Typical now maybe starting to close in, maybe just the tiniest little bit. Maybe starting to close in. Very slightly. We're going to have 3 laps to go this next time by. Here comes Typical, trying to get up there behind this 4 car, able to close up there. Yeah, they do. They deal with it. They'll put them rain tires on. They're gonna go for it, boy. Yep. Here comes that 4 car down the straight. He just has so much muscle and power off of those corners that Typical's able to kind of, yep, with 4 to go, 4 laps to go, 4 to go, the 3 to go this next time by. I don't. Typical is able to pull them in the corners, but the 4 car is able to accelerate and have that power out of the corners. And we got 3 laps to go to settle this between. That could play a factor as well. Do you use them as a pick, maybe? Can you use them as a pick as we cross the line? Real quick. Yep. But they might play a factor as we got 2 laps to go, only 2 to go. I don't know if Typical is able to have enough power for him, man. I don't know. He's able to kind of reel him in, but that 4 car just has so much power off of the corner. Here we go. As we take the white flag, 1 lap out, 1 lap to go for FRR. Does the 1 car have a shot in this and play a factor? Typical goes right up on side 2. Is the 4 car going to use the 1 car as a pick? He goes low and he's going to use it. He's going to try to use it. Here comes the 10 car. The 10 car can't go anywhere. Used it perfect as a pick. And here comes the 4. And the 10 car make a little contact. The 4 car, FRR wins. FRR wins at New Hampshire. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Absolutely perfect. Typical in second. Showtime Flash in third. Perky in... Oh, I'm sorry. Field Filler in fourth. Perky in fifth. Mucka in 6th, Pittman 7th, Shovelhead 8th, J-Lam up to 9th, and True Death round out the top 10. What it is too, mine. Easily, as soon as I saw, as soon as I saw it on the schedule for the Xfinity Series yesterday, I wasn't missing it for the world. Yes, we do. Yep, and the Xfinity and the Xfinity and trucks are always at 7 o'clock. The trucks Friday at 7 and the Xfinity Saturday at 7. And we're going to get these top 3. Oh yeah, there'll be some streams up. There'll be some streams up. All right, give me just a second, folks, while I get some of these leaders in here. FRR, Typical, and Showtime. I appreciate you jumping in, Hokie. You have a great night. Thank you. Yes, it was. I'm gonna have you up here again, my friend. Thank you very much. You too, my friend. And that is my good friend Hokie from the Xfinity Series. Great guy. Glad he was able to come up with me and finish calling the race. That was one heck of a race. As I'm getting this top 3 up in here right now, and all I need to get is Typical. Hey, Farb, do you have Typical that you can send in one real quick? I don't have them on online, so I'm gonna have to dig for them. Okay, select these guys get on in here, and there's Showtime Flash, and now we'll just wait for Typical. Well, I'm sure he'll be here in a second. There he is. Alright, so we've got our top 3, our podium finishers here at New Hampshire. We're going to start with our 3rd place finisher, top in that 24 car, Showtime Flash, man. Congratulations. Getting a top 3 tonight, man. That was a job well done. Hard earned for you tonight, man.
To be honest, I'm just glad to have a somewhat competitive car at this track. So, yeah, I could hang with the 4 and the 10 for about 3/4 of the run, and about the last 8 laps, I just didn't quite have the drive that those two had, so just kind of had to put myself in a position by pitting earlier than them in that last stage, and then was just gonna battle my butt off, but um, I mean they deserve to be 1-2, so I was just hoping that they would make some contact, maybe give me a chance, but yeah, really glad to be third. So um, last year's performance at this track was horrendous for me, so I'm very, very happy with third place.
Well, I mean that pit stop, and I mean you've had a really good another good start to the week. I mean, as the other night you won that Phantom race on Thursday night. That was a heck of a win, by the way, man. That was fun to watch.
Thank you.
I'm going to get to that guy Favre about that here in a few minutes, but I mean, coming off of having that win like that and having some momentum built into this race, and you mentioned that pit stop there in stage three, where you were trying to hope that kind of put you out a little bit further out front to kind of give you a little boost, and maybe then those guys would maybe get together and you could maybe steal one.
Uh, I mean, I probably would have needed a shorter run than that. Maybe coming off a caution with 15 to go or something, and then we probably could have gotten a little bit more physical with each other. But I mean, it was a long enough run. I knew what I had, for the whole fuel run, and it was going to be tough for me just to try to get the position to try to pass them for one. I mean, the whole race, I was running third. I was going like 100%, and we were all just very evenly spaced. First 20 laps of every run. It was really crazy. It looked like we were just drafting, but I assure you, I was not. But yeah, just really good run. Put in about 3 hours of work earlier this afternoon just to see if I could find some magic, but wasn't quite there. But I'm really happy with this run, and we'll move on to Pocono. And congrats to Typical and Favre. They had a really good battle going. It was fun to watch.
And congratulations, man. Hey, that was a job well done and a heck of a run, dude. You were up there all night long. I mean, hey, the top three, you can't ask for much better than that, man. Congratulations on getting that, man. I'll see you on Thursday night, brother.
All right, I appreciate it, buddy.
You have a good night, my friend.
Carter the Kid with the win. That's what we're gonna call him now.
Carter the Kid. I'm going to bring up this guy in this 10 car, and that is Typical. Man, you are having one heck of a season. Right before the when you guys were trying to get qualifying going in, I was talking a little bit about the points and trying to get into the points a little bit. Typical, and man, you are having an incredible season, man, and you had another incredible run tonight, man. You put on such a performance. I mean, even getting a second, man, that's practically a win, man. Congratulations, man. That was awesome.
Uh, Almost a win, a little bit short.
Okay, kind of go over it, man. I mean, kind of tell me, a little bit about that last run there. I mean, I know. Did it seem from your point of view that that four car used that one car as a pick to perfection there at the end?
No, I think I kind of used that as a pick, even though I wasn't involved with it. It kind of slowed him up in turn one, and all the way down the backstretch, I took a higher arc in turn three to try to get a killer run out of four, but I just didn't get enough to get to Favre. But I was almost there. I maybe could have got to his quarter panel at the entry, but the one was kind of there, and I didn't want to hit him either. But
Well,
good run.
it looked like throughout the run because I was on Favre's stream for the race, and when he had the lead, it looked like he was able to extend the lead a little bit. But going into the corners, it looked like that your car was better going into the corners, but he had the better car coming out of the corners. Was that fair to say?
Yeah, he could. Well, I drive my car in deeper than he would. He likes to back up his corners on entry, and then his car rotates really good on exit, and I lose the momentum, and he gains all of it back. So it's kind of even. He's better at hitting marks than I am. And that's kind of what it came down to. Except I did pretty good at the end there though. He was on fresher tires, and I ran him down a little bit. But
Well, I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, one lap fresher tires. I mean, in these cars, do you think that one lap of fresher tires made a difference? Because I mean, you did bring him back down there at the end. He did have a little bit of a gap on you. You did bring him back in.
Uh, a difference, yeah, a little bit, but not like too
Considerable.
bad. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that bad of a difference. He just hit his marks better than I did. I made a couple mistakes trying to run it back down, hit the wall, got loose a couple times.
Yeah, it looked like
My
you
fault.
made a brush with the wall a couple of times and lost momentum. But hey, man, you won stage one. And finishing, you got you and finishing in second, and even I think you got second in stage two. So from the points aspect, you came in with the leader in regular season points and the leader in playoff points, and I mean I don't know how it's going to shake out, but I mean you're still going to be in the lead in both. So I mean, hey, that you got to look at that as a win either way.
Yeah, that's cool, but they missed a couple races, so kind of got a little bit of a lead off of that. But they'd probably be ahead of me if they didn't miss. But I take it anyway.
You gotta take it, man. Hey, dude, congratulations, man. Second place runner up, and job well done. You definitely, it was definitely between that you and that four car were definitely the fastest, man. You had a hell of a rocket tonight. Congratulations, man, getting second, dude.
Thanks, man. Good win, the kid Favre.
That guy Favre, man, that guy Favre, he did it again. And I was saying, Favre, I was telling when Hokey jumped up here in the booth for stage three to call the race with me, and I tell you what, man, and there at stage three after that last pit stop, and I kind of looked and I kind of noticed that when I was on your stream and I was watching the race, and it as you were having look, it really looked like that your car was had so much power and was able to get so much momentum coming out of the corner. I was like, that is your FRR Cup three-time Cup Series champion flexing his muscle at his best, man. Congratulations on getting the win tonight.
I appreciate you, buddy.
And man, I got give it a rundown, man, on this, man. I mean, what was going through your mind through this whole race?
So, for the practice races this week, I was having issues. It's a long story, but I wasn't able to change my setups. So, for the practice races, I was a plow for the first couple of laps until I pit, and then once I made my changes, I was good. So, I got on this morning and worked for a couple hours and got it to where I knew it would be good on the short run, but also good on the long run. Once I got the lead in that clean air, and I've never had, I don't think any of us have ever dealt with this on this game before, but these cars, I mean, when you're behind someone, you'll get tight if you get, in their air. So having the clean air out front was definitely key. But, great racing overall. I can't remember how far, I know I was ahead in stage one when that caution came out, and somehow Ty got back ahead of me. But stage two, really good run. Stage three, I ended up pulling like a second and a half gap on the field, and I was looking really good, and I saw Flash pit super early. So I knew even if he did get past me, I'd probably have a good shot of getting back past him again after I pit. I saw Ty went in, and then I told myself I need to go this next lap to try and stay ahead of him, because if I get behind him, it's going to be a battle. And it just so happened that Hurricane, it wasn't his fault. He came out of pit road, and him and I were side by side for 2 laps in a row, and I lost a lot of time for that. I mean, he was, like I said, it wasn't his fault. He was trying to make sure he didn't get into me, but I couldn't get into the gas like I needed to and run my line like I needed to.
He
So
kind of took your line away.
yeah, so I feel like if I would have been able to hit my line those 2 laps, I'm pretty sure I would have came out ahead of both of them on the fresher tires. But got into typical there a little bit off of turn 2. Didn't mean to do that. But no, overall great run. Congrats to Ty, having an amazing year. I wish I could have been here for every single race so we could see what those points look like. Flash, huge rebound for him from last year. I'll just leave it at that. But no, it's been a long time coming. I haven't won in a while. I had a good chance at Kentucky until I spun it going into Pitts. So I was really frustrated with that, and then I was in really good position last week, and I ended up lagging out. So I'm happy something actually worked out for me.
Well, I mean, it's definitely getting a good momentum, and I mean, you kind of mentioned the points, man, and because I was able to, I haven't, on the pre-race, I was able to kind of talk about the points a little bit. Haven't been able to talk points, and looking at the points and pulling them up, and then with typical getting stage 1, and then you were able to claim stage 2. I mean, does that come into your mind at all on stage 3 as far as the points? And when he was out there in front of you, did it kind of play a little bit of factor? Say, hey, okay, he won stage 1, I won stage 2. I have got to get in front of him. I have got to start closing some points down on this guy.
Well, I'm pretty much already in the mindset that Typical is going to be the first person to beat me for a regular season championship this season. Because I'm going to be missing next week's race. I'm going to be on vacation. So it wasn't that mindset. I was just trying to get the most points that I possibly could before I miss next week. Field and Flash will probably pass me. But I don't think I'm going to be missing any more races after next week, and it sucks because Pocono's a really good track for me. So, yeah, I maybe could have missed 2 races and still had a shot, but I think I'm up to 4 now. So, congrats, Ty, on the regular season championship. Calling it now. But I will give you a run for your money in those playoffs.
Thanks for chasing me.
It's going to come down to it. And I do got to ask, Typical, that he did bring it up, that caution there in stage 1, right at the end. Had you already made your pit when that caution came out and I just missed it? Because the way I called it, did you pit, or were you about to pit when that caution came out? Where were you at when that caution came out?
I was in the front. Favre had just pitted like 2 laps before that.
Right, and you stayed out. So
I stayed out. Yeah, I didn't pit until everybody pitted.
So I was right.
That's right.
I was right on that. I was right. I called it right.
I ended up taking 2 tires, and that was the only reason I stayed. I came out right ahead of them, and that's the only reason why I stayed on the lead lap and was able to pit again with the lead lap cars and stay on the lead lap and have fresh tires at the end there. But
okay. Yeah, because I couldn't be for sure because I was on your stream and I couldn't see it. But that's what I thought I said, that Typical hadn't pitted yet, so I did call that right. I was on point with that, and that definitely kind of threw a little twist there at the end of stage 1. But hey, at the end of the day, you're holding the trophy at the end, man. And that like I said during the in stage 3, man, you kind of flexed your champion muscle there, and it really showed out there because it was a head-to-head, mano-y-mano, Typical versus Favre, whatever you call it, Favre versus Typical, mano-y-mano, and it just seemed like he had you going into the corner, but you had that power, and you flexed the muscle coming out of the corner, and that was all she wrote. That was ball game.
I appreciate it, buddy.
Congratulations.
And where were you? Where were you on Thursday, bro? Time I race in Phantom, you ain't there.
Yeah, I messaged you right after. That's because I wasn't able to get home in time. I knew I wasn't gonna be able to get home in time for that. So I told him I wouldn't be able to get home in time. But I was watching and I didn't know you were racing. I honestly didn't know you were racing until I turned on the broadcast and saw you racing. I'm like, that guy Favre, he had a race when I'm not in the freaking booth, and I even pointed out on the broadcast on the live chat to Timmy, and that's what I told you after that. I said, if you're going to be in there, I'm going to be up there. I'm telling you that. If you and Flash and all them guys are going to be in there, believe me, I'm going to find my way up to the booth. Trust me on that. So, if you're going to be there Thursday night, I'll definitely be there.
I work second shift this week, so I'm kind of just like a standby driver, so I will be there probably, it'll be a couple weeks, but I'll be back over there.
All right. Well, it'll be it's always gonna be fun seeing you. That's awesome league over there, man. We have some awesome racing today, man. At FTR Pro Series, they had the guys crashing at the line today earlier, man. It was a heck of a sight to see. We had some great racing, and you and Typical take it there to the end. Great job, guys, man. Congratulations on you guys taking it there to the end. That was a fun sight to say. I want to say thanks to all the fans, everybody out there watching and tuning in. Without you guys, we are absolutely nothing. So thank you all for tuning in and watching this excellent show these FRR Cup guys put on every Sunday night. Join us next week as we head to Pocono as Favre gets the win here at New Hampshire. Typical in second and Flash in third. Want to say thank you to everybody once again, and we're going to see everybody next week at Pocono.
Oh,
Go for it.
so I didn't do this last year, so I'm making up for it this year. But Field Filler had given me this setup last year, and I ran it again tonight, and obviously I made quite a few changes to it. But I got to give the biggest shout out to Field Filler, and God, I hope you watch to the end because this is your shout out, buddy.
Oh, and he had a heck of a race too. He had a heck of a race. I have to remember that. So at 2020 setup, tweak it a little bit, and it'll work just like gold here in the next gen cars. I'll have to remember that myself. Yeah, Field Filler had a heck of a run tonight. He was up there in the top 5 mostly all night tonight, and he had himself a great race. So that was fun to see. So if Field Filler played a part in that, not too much of a surprise because how well he ran. He ran a really good race as well. As a matter of fact, he finished 4th. Field Filler finished 4th.
He
so
went
was
all
right
the
there.
way to the back sometime in stage 1 or 2, can't remember. Ended up being a lap down, getting back on the lead lap and making his way back up to the front, which I knew because I knew he had a good car. So really happy to see him get back up there.
Yeah, he and Perky both had very, very good cars. Perky rounded out the top 5 tonight. Both had really good runs and very, very good cars. Man, they had some. Perky and the 2 car and the 2 car and the 14 car had some battles. You guys want to go back and watch that in stage 2, I think it was. They were battling.
Perky was talking about it.
Yeah, it was about mostly pretty much half of stage 2. The 2 and the 14 were going at it. It was fun to watch. It was a sight to see. You gotta go back and check on it. But yeah, that great win tonight. We're gonna see everybody again next week at Pocono. Thank you everybody once again for watching. We're gonna see you next week. Thank you all.